Hold on a second. I need to fix something here. There's something missing. There we go. That's better. Men in Black International, or Men in Black 4, whatever you want to call it. Men in Black International is the fourth installment in the Men in Black series. This one's directed by F. Gary Gray, and it stars Chris Hemsworth, Tessa Thompson, Emma Thompson's in this movie, Liam Neeson's in it. Basically there's a bunch of other A-list actors as well. Kumail Nanjiani, Rebecca Ferguson, a lot of big names in this movie. And basically it centers around Tessa Thompson's character. She discovers MIB as a kid. She also meets up with this alien creature. Her parents get neurozapped, I guess is what they call it. I actually don't even remember. But yeah, their memories are erased. I'll just say that. Their memories are erased. But her memory is just fine. She remembers everything, and then she eventually discovers the Men in Black's base, and she's recruited by the Men in Black. And then basically she meets up with Chris Hemsworth's character, and then they have to fight aliens. So yeah, let's get into Men in Black International. As a whole, I will admit I was actually kind of excited for this movie because I like Chris Hemsworth a lot. I like Tessa Thompson a lot. They worked together in Thor Ragnarok. I thought they did a really good job in that movie. Their chemistry was fantastic. And I also like F. Gary Gray as a director a lot. He did Friday. He did The Negotiator. He did The Italian Job, Straight Outta Compton, Fate of the Furious. So he has shown that he can do comedy and he can do action. So I was looking forward to see what he could bring to this Men in Black franchise. And there are some things I did like about this movie. I think the best thing about it for sure is Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson and their chemistry together. I thought their performances were really good. I thought their chemistry was really good. I just thought they worked really well together. It shows that they have worked together in the past, like with Thor Ragnarok, because they work really well together. And I also really liked some of their humor as well. Like, there's a couple jokes in there that Chris Hemsworth has and that Tessa Thompson has that I thought really worked. And there are some good action sequences and CGI in this movie as well. Some of the CGI is good. The rest of it I'll get to in a bit, but yeah, some of the CGI was really good and some of the action sequences were good. Two action sequences in particular, one involving a motorcycle I thought was pretty good, and then another one where they're on this island and they're fighting this like 3-4-armed woman played by Rebecca Ferguson. I thought that was a really good scene as well. So, yeah, there are definitely some things to enjoy in this movie for sure. So, in the past, I've liked some of the Men in Black movies. I've disliked some of the other ones. I liked the first Men in Black a lot. I really liked that movie. The second one, not very good. The third one I think is actually kind of underrated. This one is probably the worst one. And yeah, I think it might be worse than Men in Black 2. There's a lot of problems with this movie. First off, there are so many actors that are just there and like completely wasted. Like Emma Thompson, she was completely wasted in this movie. Rebecca Ferguson, yeah, she was wasted as well. Liam Neeson, like how do you waste Liam Neeson? Yeah, he was wasted as well. And there's a bunch of other people as well. Kumail Nanjiani, like, his character plays a pretty important role in this movie. The problem with his character is he's really annoying. And I blame that on the writing. The writing for this movie is just really bad. Because I know Kumail Nanjiani can be a really funny guy. He did The Big Sick. And I know that he's going to be in some other comedies later on. But, yeah, he has proven that he can be a funny guy. So to see that his character in this movie was just really annoying, it's kind of disappointing. In fact, it's very disappointing. And then just to see all these other characters like that are just there, not really given much to do, it's just kind of a letdown. There's also these two villain characters that are just like CGI, like Nebula aliens. It looked like Dark Phoenix level CGI. That's how bad it was. And again, they're just there to be villains. They don't really drive the plot at all. They're just like, that's what most of this movie is. People that are just there. And of course, like, some of the action sequences as well. Like I mentioned, the motorcycle chase sequence. The problem with that sequence is there's a big plot hole in that sequence. And it's not really a spoiler, so I'll get into it a little bit. Basically, like, Chris Hemsworth's character and Tessa Thompson's character, they're riding this motorcycle. And then Chris Hemsworth has his neuralizer. And then he like, the motorcycle lands in a crowd of people, like, with a crowd of people around him. He blasts them with the neuralizer so that they don't remember it. But then, like, they just keep driving by other crowds of people without neuralizing them. So it's like, wait, what? Hold on. There's no continuity here. And then, like, some of the other action sequences, like, again, another one I mentioned earlier with the two fist fights going on at once, three-armed monster. Like, it's a good action sequence. The problem is the way it ends was just so dumb. It involves, like, toward the beginning of the movie, when Tessa Thompson's character is a young girl in her room, there's this little alien that she meets up with. And yeah, the way it comes back in this movie, like, I'm just like, really? It was just so dumb. Like, a really dumb way for it to end. And speaking of dumb twists, there's another one involving Liam Neeson's character later in the movie, which leads to, like, a pointless 30 minute action sequence that's just a big CGI fest mess. And yeah, there's really nothing to it at all. And the other problem with this movie is it's just so damn boring. Like, the first Men in Black movie, like, you have Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones. Their chemistry's really good, and they're funny. They have a lot of wit to them. It's just a fun movie. Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson, yeah, while they can be fun in this movie, they're not Will Smith or Tommy Lee Jones. Like, if you know what I mean. Like, nothing's ever gonna, like, compete with the level of Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones in the original movie. Like, they're just not quite as charismatic. I'm not saying they're not charismatic, because they are. The problem is they're just not up to the same level as Will Smith or Tommy Lee Jones. They're just kind of bland and boring characters, other than their few banters and humor throughout the movie. Like, none of the characters in this movie have any kind of motivation at all, especially the villains. And yeah, it's 115 minutes long. 30 minutes easily could have been cut out of this movie. It was because there was so much time where there's just nothing going on. And yeah, some of the action sequences are just boring and pointless. So yeah, as someone who really liked the first movie and the third movie, it was a total letdown to see, like, what this franchise has turned into. And yeah, the ending is sequel bait, and honestly, this franchise has overstayed its welcome. Sony, please don't make another one. Overall, guys, I was very let down by Men in Black International. Definitely one of the more disappointing films to come out this year. It's just really bland and boring. That's the best thing. That's the best description I can give it. It was just really bland, really boring, not that funny. CGI was a huge mess. I forgot to mention that, but the CGI was a huge mess for the most part, especially in the final action sequence. And especially with the villains. And yeah, the villains are just, again, they're just there to be bad guys. There's nothing to them at all. So yeah, I'm going to have to give Men in Black International, let's give it a 37% rotten rating. That is a D+. And there is my review for Men in Black International. Have you guys seen the movie? What did you think about it? Make sure to let me know down in the comments below what you thought of it, and what's your favorite movie in the franchise. I'm sure the answer is going to be the same for most people, the first movie. But yeah, make sure to let me know down in the comments below. And what's your favorite Chris Hemsworth film? Let me know down in the comments below. And make sure to subscribe to my channel for more reviews, more content to come in the future. And until next time, once again, my name is the California Cougar. And always remember to stay California cool. Peace.